안녕하세요 여러분, 반갑습니다. 영그리입니다. 오늘은 이전 시간에 말씀드렸던 운동과 건강이라는 주제의 연장선상에서 운동의 내각이라는 책에서 공유할 수 있는 몇 부분의 글귀들을 같이 한번 보고자 합니다. 이 책은 특별히 운동을 좋아하시는 여러분들과 공유하고 싶은 내용이 참 많은데요. 일단 다음 내용부터 같이 한번 보시겠습니다. 누구나 운동 계획을 세우면 실천하기까지 처음 몇 단계가 가장 어렵다는 사실을 안다. 하지만 거기에 뇌가 한몫하고 있다는 사실을 모르는 사람은 많다. 뇌는 변화를 독려하지 않는다. 놀랍게도 뇌는 우리가 현 상태에 그대로 머물기를 원한다. 뇌는 끊임없이 변화하는 세상 속에서 이상적인 상태, 즉 항상성을 유지함으로써 몸을 지키고자 분투한다. 동시에 안락함을 벗어나려 하지 않는다. 문제는 내가 생각하는 항상성이 유지되는 행복한 상태가 무려 100만 년도 더 된 환경을 기준으로 설정되어 있다는 점이다. 허기의 알람에 관해서라면 특히 더 그렇다. 배고픔의 알람은 기아가 실제적 위협이었던 선사시대에 맞춰져 있다. 우리는 뇌에서 가장 원시적인 영역인 시상하부는 여전히 원시시대에 머문 채 움직임이 많아지면 허기의 알림을 사정없이 울리는 것이다. 배고픔의 알람은 극도로 배고플 때 울리는 것이 아니라 우리가 어느 정도 배가 고픈 느낌만 들면 울린다. 이게 무슨 뜻이냐? 뇌는 원시시대를 기준으로 우리가 충분히 움직일 것이라고 가정한다는 의미다. 하지만 현대인은 대부분 그렇게 하지 못한다. 때문에 우리는 필연적으로 움직이는 것보다 많이 먹게 되고 체중을 유지하는 것은 너무나 어려운 과제가 된다. 몸을 움직이지 않는 생활은 뇌의 에너지 균형을 깨뜨렸고 인류 역사상 처음으로 과체중인 사람이 재체중인 사람보다 많아지게 만들었다. 어떻습니까 여러분? 재밌는 표현이 참 많지요. 일요일 아침 5시, 6시 정도에 일어나서 이렇게 주말 라이딩을 준비를 하지 않습니까? 그때마다 이제 저희 뇌는 얘기를 합니다. 야, 가지 마라. 그냥 여기 있어라. 밖이 얼마나 추우냐, 밖이 얼마나 더우냐, 오늘 동부고개 할 수 있을 것 같으냐, 분원리 왕복 너무 힘들어서 안 된다, 너 퍼진다, 갔다 와서 아무 일도 못할 거다. 이렇게 다양한 어떤 말들로 우리가 운동 준비하는 것을 막아서기 위해서 우리 뇌는 엄청나게 발악의 노력을 다 하지만은 그 유혹들을 그 귀찮음을 다 물리치고 주말 아침에 같이 라이딩하기 위해 모인 분들 정말로 환영하고, 뵐 때마다 이렇게 한번 같이 앉고 크게 우정과 동지애를 표하고 싶은 마음이 크다는 사실 다시 한번 말씀드리고 싶습니다. 오늘 소개드릴 영상은 지난 11월 중순에 있었던 동부방 시즌 마무리 토요일 일요일 라이딩 영상입니다. 토요일 경안천 구간, 일요일 달래내 구간을 갔었는데요. 토요일 달린 경안천 구간에서는 시종일관 이제 찬바람 때문에 힘들고 아주 혹독한 라이딩을 했었습니다. 그럼에도 불구하고 많은 분들께서 같이 달려주시고 도와주시고, 특히 이제 라이딩 중간에 이제 잠시 도와주신 예분님께 감사드리고, 무엇보다 이제 그 레이스 자체를 아주 두저적으로 이제 끌어주신 우리 품격 있는 라이딩을 항상 보여주시는 초바님께 감사하다는 말씀을 드리겠습니다. 그리고 일요일 달래는 구간 영상은요, 여러분 잘 아시는 이제 스톰 형과 그리고 마지막에 이제 나오시는 페마 형과 아주 재미있게 레이스를 했었던 영상입니다. 인생 달래내라고 제가 이제 많이 얘기를 하는데요. 이만하면 되었지. 이 정도 달렸으면은 할 만큼 이렇게 했다. 이 정도면은 이제 나 더 이상 이제 할 게 없어 보인다라는 말을 절대로 용납하지 않는 다양한 변주와 이제 굴곡에 있는 라이딩 코스. 그래서 결국에는 끝판어필에서 젖산이 가득 보인 허벅지를 들고 일어날 수 있는 체력과 준비를 가진 사람과 숨쉴 힘밖에는 아무것도 남지 않는 사람으로 장엄하게 나눠버리는 그 구간을 갖고 있는 인생 달래내, 그 두 구간에 대해서 소개해드리는 영상 보시겠습니다.
잘해. 야, 촬영병 제대로 한번 해보자고.
And it's Ben Healy, the Irishman, through the chicane there, who puts the pressure on the pedals and sees if he can grab a gap.
Yes, well, you could see there just into the corner and then outward and just stand on the pedals, and you could see everybody just trying to, you know, keep in contact here. And yeah, he's going to ride onto the climb like in the front, which is a place, you know, a ride that you do not want to be. You want to be just behind to see what's happening. I know this climb is, you know, a tight one, but with 3 riders it's not a problem at all. But Healy looks like he's going to just ride onto this climb, and yeah, I think he will just, you know, start putting on the pressure. That sudden acceleration, explosive which he has got, looks like he's going to try and do that.
Here we are then. The road rises just less than 4.5 kilometers to the finish line. It peaks up, it dives down. We'll go onto the cobbles, through the old walls, into the old city. The scene of ancient battles. There's a modern one here at the Giro. A stage win is the prize. We have an American, an Irishman, and an Italian. Frigo, the young man, the 23-year-old. In fact, they're all young men. 3 of the new stars of this sport. Frigo in his first year at this level, and the Italian flag flies for him on Grand Tour debut. Healy, who impressed already last year, but has stepped up this year. Won a stage last week. And McNulty, the American who turned pro so young, who promised so much, who's won some big races, ready to run the red light here with the rest of them. Onto the cobbles. Through the gate. It's game on. Frigo will turn left here and he'll hit a wall of noise. Fans left and right. He will get the loudest cheers. It's Healy, we know, who has that explosivity on the hills. But does he have anything left? He's attacked and moved, given all he's got. And we're waiting to see, as it's stalemate for now, who will go. Listen to this. They're roared around the corner and off the cobbles. Some steep gradients here, maximum 12% when you get close to the top. They're normally fighting for monuments when they ride up here. But it's the Grand Tour giants who are today on the roads. Beautiful Bergamo and its old town hosting the Giro d'Italia, and Sean, not much happening yet, they're waiting.
Yeah, it's all the waiting game there, and they just left Frigo.
Now they go though.
Pace.
Now they go, and it's Healy. No surprise to see Healy making his move straight past the flying Irish flag. It's the flying Irish man who's distancing the rest though. Frigo's just about in the game, but he's hanging on. McNulty though, right on the wheel, and Healy can't get rid of him this time. Still he attacks, still he goes. Maximum gradient, 12% here. Up over the top through the gate, and he's not shaking him. Maybe still a chance, but he's got to hang on. Frigo playing for third right now. And Healy puts another dig in. And it's McNulty just waiting, reacting. He cannot shake him though.
No, and you know, the 2 stronger men on the previous climb, they're just showing it again here, and Frigo just, yeah, was allowed to make the pace there, but when we hit the steep patch, you know, the 2 stronger riders, you know, just riding away from here, and we can see Healy just continuing on to push. And you can see the gap they've opened up. They've just gone away from him here on this straight road, and now it's going to be a question between these 2 guys. Unless they really play around in the run into the line, it's going to be a sprint between the 2 strongest men of the breakaway of this stage.
Over the top, the climbing's done. Now to dive down back into the town. 19 seconds that dig opened up. That's incredible power.
Yes, well, it just shows that, you know, the 2 riders that had already shown it or in the earlier part of the stage on the previous difficult climb. Frigo, of course, making that effort on the descent alone, then on the flat to get back in there. You're always going to, you know, pay for that. And yeah, unfortunately, Healy just kicked on there on the real steep part, and Frigo loses a lot of time here. And we can see on this descent, you know, it's a fast one. So for Frigo to get back in, there's not any time at all here, and it's going to be you know, a little bit too short of a flatter section just to run to the line to make contact with the two men leading here.
2 kilometers to go, but in the last K, 4 seconds have gone back the way of Frigo, who's at 13. Because there's a difference. Healy on the front, nervously looking round. McNulty not budging, not moving. They're both playing the game. McNulty obviously feels that he just needs to keep Healy there and make his move when he can. Will it be in the sprint? Will it be before? They threw the gates out of the old town, back to the modern city. 1.5 kilometers to go. Frigo still 11 seconds off. Make it 10 now. He's coming back, but probably not enough yet. But if they start to play around, you just never know. Shoes being tightened. McNulty looks like he'll fancy himself for this. We've seen Ben Healy win alone before. This is a very different proposition, though. Healy has to approach this in a different way.
Yes, he has to approach it a different way, and you know, in this situation with a rider that has been marking you a lot, and you know, going to sit on now because McNulty is going to just follow in his wheel here, because he knows that Healy has shown to be the strongest, and having a look around here, and as we get ever so closer to the finish here, and Frigo just a little bit too late at looking like to make contact.
Healy and McNulty fly around, but Frigo is there. If they take one look at each other, if they hesitate that one little bit, Frigo is there and Pounce ready to get back. He flies through the slipstream of the motorbikes. He's into the slipstream of the riders. 500 meters to go, and it's 3 up suddenly. Frigo is looking to take that momentum round, and here he goes. He hits the front. Is this the moment for Israel Premier Tech? Marco Frigo, the 23-year-old. He's stolen a march. He's got away. Is he going to pick their pocket? Frigo, head down, going for the line. McNulty waits. Healy brings it back. McNulty yet to launch, but here he goes. There we go, into the centre. McNulty's there, Healy's there. It's Brandon McNulty, and today is the day. In the land of Italian fine dining, it's a Big Mac that wins it.
much to the front a moment ago. It was Bora Hansgrohe. They've been washed away a little bit now. Ineos coming through. DSM have followed them up. Trek Segafredo, the next team behind them on the top of the picture. On the lower side, Soudal Quickstep with Remco Evenepoel. They've never been far from the front. In fact, Evenepoel riding in third wheel.
Sean, it's all of the GC teams at the front at the moment.
Yes, it is. GC teams have been bossing it now for a number of kilometres here, and you know, if the GC teams are prepared to do that, sometimes the sprint teams can hold off, and you know, if you have a good number of riders who can ride in this sort of situation, just stay off the front, stay in the slipstream and not get crowded out, just make enough room for yourself that you can get through, and wait, and that is, you know, that's the ingredient of, you know, preparing a really good sprint for your sprinter of the team.
Alpecin de Koenig make it back to the front through Stefano Oldani. It's all about Caden Groves for them, the Queenslanders. It narrows here, and that was an important move to really get up. Thankfully, everybody's through safe. But look at what it's done, Robbie. If you've lost position here, it could take a couple of kilometres to get back to the front.
Yeah, they are the really important points to hit it at the front, because others have got to go in the breaks. They're losing 50, 100, 150 metres. And to make that up when they're riding at 60 kilometres an hour like they are at the moment, that takes it out of the leg. So those points really important. Another one now, little turn to the left, split around the traffic island. Always somebody on the losing end.
On the winning end of things, Alpecin de Koenig, who've refound their position at the front. You can just see the blue jerseys are bunched up behind. Pustelberger now moving up in the white and blue. On the left, you can see the black jerseys of DSM looking today, we believe, after Marius Meyerhofer. 5 kilometres to go on this second stage of the Giro d'Italia. It's hectic, it's chaotic, it's fast, it's furious, Sean.
Yes, it is. It's pretty hectic here, but you know, everybody getting through safe so far. 5 kilometres to go, and we can see here, you know, the change of teams on the front all the time. We're going to see more of that now inside this final kilometre, where there will, you know, other teams just they've been waiting, sitting off, and when you get into that final run where it gets very, very dangerous, the roundabouts we're talking about, the turns, the right-hand turn, that's where the teams will really be thinking, and that's where they'll be getting the call from the directors sportifs. Now, guys, you have to get into the top 10 or 12 riders, and that's where a lot of the teams will get the same orders, and that's where the problems can come.
1.4 kilometres to go is the magic number as far as the roundabout's concerned. Just 1,200 metres now. In time, it turns to 1 kilometre as I finish the phrase for the GC times to be taken, and that sigh of relief, Robbie McEwen.
Well, look, another narrowing now in Alpecin de Koenig. They've made their run to the front at the perfect time, bringing Caden Groves, but right in the middle, the pink jersey, Remco Evenepoel looking relaxed, perfectly positioned. Big switch out and a crash.
There we go. They're down on the right-hand side, down, and it's just before that moment.
Cavs
down. Riders down.
Cavendish, one of the riders, taken out, so it won't be today for the British champion taken out. You saw that big switch as we look at the screen. It went out to the left of screen.
Oh, and there's a
carnage.
lot of riders held back here. There's going to be huge time losses in the general classification as well. Rider down from Movistar. There's a Trek Segafredo rider down. Sean, this is it again on the right-hand side. We saw a bit of bunch. We saw a bit of move. A couple of DSM riders hitting the deck. Mark Cavendish is involved on the right-hand side as well, says Robbie. There he is. Oh no, and look, a whole host of riders caught up before that 3 kilometre to go, Mark.
Yes, you could see there there's the bumping, and you know, I think belting of shoulders, and rider get pushed and then touch the wheel, and you know, down they go.
Evenepoel safe, Roglic safe, Robbie McEwen.
Well, when you saw the big switch, there's a rider in the middle who just made a little move out, and a big reaction then came from Affini. He moved out to his right-hand side, and it just went like a cascade down the peloton, and then eventually took riders out and overlapping wheels. Cavendish was almost stopped and avoided it, and somebody else hit him. You saw him cover up, but all the rest had already come to a standstill. But that's taken him out of it and really narrowed the bunch down with 2.5 kilometres to go. Gentlemen, I'll see you on the other side.
Thanks, Robbie. We are going to have implications in the general classification, I'm afraid, after that. At the front, you can see Brandon McNulty moving up, so you can quite clearly see that Almeida's safe. Remco Evenepoel at the back here. We know that Roglic is involved in this group as well, nice and safe as well. Through the centre, it's Michael Matthews up to try and take a stage win. David Decker, one of the sprinters who's still there as well. Caden Groves in a good position, and Arne Marit on the left-hand side. 2Ks to go, Sean, and they're chasing on back. Those involved in the GC trying to save the day.
Yes, well, we can see there is, looks like a split here. If we could just pan back a bit, it looks like there's a gap here between this leading group and back to the riders who had to slow up quite a lot with that crash there. Is there a gap? Maybe not, but it's definitely stretched out a lot back further on the peloton.
EF Education Easy Post, one of the teams affected, I think, in terms of general classification time lost there. Mars Pedersen, whose team's ridden all day, he's out the game as well, I'm afraid. And we're coming up to that roundabout now, 1.4 kilometres to go. There'll be less riders involved there, but it's a chance where everybody has to be very, very careful. Here we go then, left turn, long way around. Real slow up of speed and then an acceleration out of this, and it's such a small group here. There are going to be implications in terms of the GC. We'll deal with that afterwards. Right-hand turn going to come up for the final 750 metres to the line in just a minute's time, and there's an opportunity now, Sean. There's a lot of open road before those coming back. We go to 1 kilometre to go.
Yes, a lot of road there, and there's going to be a big time loss here for some of the riders held up further back. The GC men will wait until later to see there, but we can see here, you know, the team that has been riding on the front, Albison, they are still very much up there, but there's a lot of sprinters. Ackerman was also there, I could see him. So yeah, this is the final 800 metres now, and this is the long run in here. If you take it up too early, well then, you know, that can be a difficult one to hold on all the way to the line.
Here we go then, inside the final 600 metres. There's another big group trying to get back and limit the losses in the time gap. But in terms of the stage win itself, Basina Kurdik, who are into the final 400 metres now. Ramon Sinkeldam is on the front on the left-hand side as we look at it. You can see through the centre that Michael Matthews is getting ready to go. Simone Consonni is there in the white and the red, but it's Groves who's ready to fire now. Through the centre, Gavidia goes on his own. Gavidia hits the front. There he is in the blue with a white helmet. Ackerman, the former German champion, on the right-hand side, and the white trying to get around him. It's Milan through the centre. There's Groves on the left-hand side. Decker's hitting the front as well, but Milan's keeping it. Milan's going all the way, and Jonathan Milan is the winner of stage 2 for Bahrain victorious.
다시 봐도 이때가 아주 따뜻하게 청량감 있게 생각이 납니다. 자, 오늘 긴 시간 동안 저희 동부방 라이딩 모습 봐주셔서 감사합니다. 이후에 그 겨울에도 약간의 재미있는 모습으로 또 찾아뵙겠습니다. 감사합니다.